You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need.
Can't never forget.
Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees.
I never forget.
Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed.
And they gotta get it.
Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
Woo.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression.
Not a hate group. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authority to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus 5:1.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. Are we even on the screen? No, we're not. All right, well, we can't see it. Most High in Christ bless y'all. Shalom, shalom. We got some tech issues, but we're going to be all right. So, look, we are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Officer Micah.
Officer Thomas.
Officer Mikael.
Hey, and like we always do every single show, we're going to take you right with the first segment with our very own Officer Micah with the Watchman Report. Take it away.
You are now live.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless, Most High in Christ. Bless. A lot going on. Let's get to it. Here we go. Trump reacts after Russian drones shot down over Poland. A lot going on in the world today. Harris calls Biden's re-election bid reckless in new memoir. You can't make this stuff up. Look, he look confused right now. Oil prices slide 2% on worries about global oversupply, U.S. demand. So watch those oil prices. You know what's next? The gas going to go up. It is now peak hurricane season. What to expect for storms in the Atlantic. All right, so y'all make sure y'all getting y'all stuff that y'all need for the hurricanes, all right? More images released of person of interest amid manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer. Next article. And this concludes the Watchman Report.
You are now live.
We the sons of God, we don't back down. I'll take it to your face, I tell you right now. Step up to the count, we ain't backing down. Step up to the camp, I tell you right now. We the sons of God, we don't backing down.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High Christ blessed. As y'all see, we got the thumbnail up. We got motion going on with Netanyahu has the puppet master controlling the UN leaders as well as Donald Trump. I'm speaking into the mic.
Okay, 1, 2. So shout out, Officer Mikhail. I think you did this thumbnail. The AI is crazy, but it's only what you can put into it that comes out. So you got the sand there. You got burning buildings in the background. That's a dragon, but with the face of an angry Arab. It's very clever. Now, can you pause on the wording? I did this for a reason. Pause on I didn't do the AI. Mikhail did that, but I want to show you the title. I meditate on these titles. So, right, okay, it says Arabian dragons come out. Benjamin Netanyahu with marionettes. Pull up the definition of a marionette. Because when you look at Benjamin Netanyahu, he's being controlled by God. And God is allowing him to manipulate Trump, okay, the EU, all of the major players of the Caucasian power structure throughout the world, all right? God is allowing him, and that's prophecy, okay? So a marionette is a term for a style of puppet, okay?
Marionette, a puppet worked from above by strings attached to its limbs.
So a marionette is a puppet that is attached, worked from above. In Netanyahu, the prime minister, is being worked from above by God. He's being worked. Matter of fact, get me Romans chapter 9. We have Paul was bringing history out about Egypt. Why would Paul, during the time of Rome, be talking about Egypt during, hundreds of thousands of years later? Read Romans 9 about hardening of the hearts.
Yes, sir. Romans chapter 9, you want me to start at 17, Cap?
I think so. Let me
Yes.
hit 17 and
Yes, sir. Verse 17, for the scripture said unto Pharaoh,
right.
even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
So God raised up Pharaoh to do what? To rule over the Israelites. He put them in bondage. All of that was done. And God also used Pharaoh and hardened his heart to do what? To show his power through deliverance. Read on.
That I might show my power in thee.
So, and that's the point. Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be a power move with God. God's going to show his power on earth. Now, later on, we're going to get to that in the show. Is there more in that definition, or is that it?
That's it.
There was a better definition. See if you can find another definition. In Nehemiah, get me 2nd Ezra 15, because the title is inspired by the scripture. 2nd Ezra 15, I want to say 29. Let me look at it.
Yes, sir, to Arabia.
Yes.
Yes, sir. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 29. Were the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
Go to 27. I want to hear that.
Yes, sir, verse 27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth.
Right. This is talking about destruction, the plagues. Read on.
And ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him.
You was right. Not 29. That's right.
Yes, sir, verse 29. Were the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
So that's what part of that AI generated would show the dragons of Arabia looking like an actual dragon, like from the Game of Thrones or from House of Dragons. Read on.
Shall come out with many chariots.
They're going to unite and come out together. Read on.
And a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth.
That's the point. They're going to come out. They're going to come out. It's going to happen. Shout out to Officer Yas. He sent something that an hour ago in the Times of India. Matter of fact, get that real quick. Yasa posted that. Right now, and I hope that I didn't fact check it, but I think it's legitimate. The Russian Prime Minister Sergio Lovgrab, he was meeting with the Arabs. They had a meeting, and Russia showed up. Yeah, there it is. It is. So he actually was there. And this was, is today the 11th?
Yes.
sir.
So this was today. Today. Play that. Pause. Do us a favor. Please get rewind. I want to hear that it says something block. Arab block. What does it say? Go back. Type in Gulf block because that's a new term. A Gulf block. Type that in, please. Because this happened today, several hours ago, and it was updated about an hour and a half ago. You have Russia is at war with Ukraine. NATO right now, under Poland, they had a drone that was shot down over Poland, is invoking Article 10. I forget what article it is. That if you attack one NATO country, because remember, Ukraine is not a NATO country, then all of NATO is going to get involved. So NATO, in theory, is going to enter the theater of war with Russia. And who is over NATO? The United States of America. Now you have the Arab Gulf bloc is meeting and uniting with Russia. Why? Because Donald Trump messed up. God allowed it to slip through. We're going to get into it tonight. They bombed Israel in the last 7 days. They bombed 6 places, 6 different countries. And here's the thing. I'm not going to say any position, but right now you have had a major news story with a Republican guy. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And, you know, it's we're not going to speak on that, but it's a fact. He was assassinated. And everybody is focused on that, right? And I understand it because he was a popular young man with kids and a wife, and it's wrong. But now all this is going with Israel, and no one's talking about this. Okay? It's interesting how that happened. Read that, yep. That's fine.
The Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf, also known as the Gulf Cooperation Council,
Okay.
GCC, Arabic, is a regional, intergovernmental, political, and economic union and military alliance.
Stop. In military alliance. Now let's read the countries because this Gulf GCC is dealing with Russia tonight. And no one's talking about it. Read that.
Yes, sir. Comprising Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman.
Stop. Pull up a map of the Middle East. These are Arab countries. They don't like the Russians anyways, but they'd rather deal with the power that they can get support from. So, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, those are all those countries right there in the Persian Gulf region. And remember, Iran is a member of BRICS. Okay? And you have all these countries now, and look, they're a lot closer to Russia than they are to the United States. Things are getting very, very hot. In tonight's show, we're going to show you, there's Qatar. Remember, we're going to get to that next in Qatar. Bahrain is a small, is that even a country? Look how small that is. Understand that. We're getting live now. All right, thank you for that. Y'all take a look at those countries. Now, did we read the definition of the
I think Bahrain was that island.
Okay, Bahrain. Okay, now read when did it begin? Because a lot of people at home, y'all don't even know this. This has been around for many years.
Yes, sir. The council's main headquarters is located in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia.
So it's right there in Saudi Arabia. Read on.
The charter of the GCC was signed on May 25th, 1981.
So Arabs have for over 4 decades, more than that, 4 decades or 4.5 decades have started to lay the foundation for a united Arab League. That's what they're going to need to have for the dragons of Arabia to come out, that to fulfill 2nd Esdras 15. Now, let's deal with the first thing I gave you, please. And brothers, please, at any time, y'all can absolutely.
I was just about to say while you're getting the first thing, it's funny how those nations are trying to work together, and look who's coming to support them. Russia. And like you said, Cap, Russia, they don't even really want to deal with Russia, but that's who they're going to take the support to from whoever it's coming from. And I wouldn't be surprised if Russia try to get them some kind of way to try to work with BRICS. Even if they don't become a member, they probably work with them.
Right, because remember, the gross domestic product of BRICS was superseded that of the G7. And more than half of the world's, remember, India and China alone have over 3 billion people, damn near. Just those 2 countries in Brazil, not counting Brazil, not counting Russia. So the alliance with Russia, that's a good point. Now BRICS, you have a whole nother organization that is pulling away from the EU and the U.S.
Hey, pull up that Gulf block again, because I thought I saw the United Arab Emirates as a part of the Gulf bloc. And they're also a full member of BRICS. So it's
right.
already coming together. United Arab Emirates is a full member of BRICS as of 2024, I believe.
Right. That is a very, very interesting point. Remember, the prophecy cannot be broken. Although it may not happen when we want it to happen or how we think it's going to happen, we know it's going to happen. The Arabs will come together. They will come out, all right? And what's going to make them come out is the absolutely psychopathic, genocidal behavior of the least of the flock, a.k.a. the Israelis. Now, we got a lot to get to. Let's pull this. Should be an article, I believe. Or if you got a video, play it too. All right. We're going to probably have to read a little quick.
Yes, sir. Maps. Israel has attacked 6 countries in the past 72 hours.
And we're going to show you all of them tonight if we get a chance to get to them. All right. And this happened within the past 72. Now, this is actually 7 days because this article is 3-4 days old. But so within the past 7 days, within a week or so, the Israelis have attacked 6 countries, not 6 cities, 6 countries. Read.
In just 3 days, Israel has carried out strikes in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Qatar, and Yemen.
Right. And guess what? Out of those, they've already attacked Syria. They've already attacked Lebanon. They've already attacked Yemen at the beginning of the war. And guess what? All of them are part of that Gulf bloc. They're part of the Arab region. Okay, come on.
On Tuesday, Israel launched a targeted airstrike on a Hamas leadership compound in Qatar's capital.
Right, and so Qatar. Pull up a map of Qatar. Qatar, Officer Mike, I think you trained there, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Qatar has the largest U.S. Air Force base in all the region. Over 10,000 servicemen and women. Okay, now, not all. There's probably the detachment army. There's probably airmen and
they got joint forces.
Joint forces. Qatar. It's very later on. We're going to read about. There's a guy. I'm going to pull a video that Qatar actually was part of Saudi Arabia. The families that had a lot of money that aligned with the British government, they succeeded from them for protection from Esau. So that they always were a part of Saudi Arabia, always were, until Esau came and did his BS and created a separate country. Okay, so map of Qatar. Let's go back to that. Article. I'm sorry, article.
The strike killed 6 people including the son of senior Hamas leader, Khalil al-Hayya. The director of al-Hayya's of office, 3 bodyguards, and Qatari security officer. However, its top leaders are reported to have survived the attack.
You're going to find out what they did is so politically unethical. What they did is Trump apparently called a meeting for all of them to meet in Qatar. Qatar is considered to be a neutral ground where U.S. bases there. They trusted their enemy. And once they got them in the location, the Israelis came through Iraqi airspace and strategically bombed the crap out of the whole series of buildings. And here's the thing. Qatar has airfield U.S. security in the sky. They allowed it to go down, showing you that nothing moves without the U.S. happening. This is why the Arab bloc is now aligning with Russia, because they realize this guy really is the devil. No matter how much he gives us protection, he gives us money, he's just going to come for all of us. And ultimately, this is why they're now talking to Russia. Okay, this is happening right now. Now, we have other things going on in the news, tragedies in this country, school shootings, political commentator Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and all of that's wrong. Murder, and it's wrong. But the U.S. is so focused on that and not what's going on in the region, in the Gulf region at all. Go back to read on.
The attack was part of a wider wave of Israeli strikes, extending beyond its immediate borders. And marked the 6th country attack in just 72 hours.
So we're going to get to all of them with time. Read on.
And the 7th since the start of this year.
Right. Because they attacked Iran. That was the 7th. They attacked Iran. Trump said, we bunker busted. We destroyed their whole nuclear lab. Everything's done. I ordered it. We're the greatest. And then he wants to try to talk to them about a peace treaty after he bombs them. It doesn't make any sense. All right, go to, we're going to deal with Qatar first. So we did the pull up. Let me go to tonight's content because Nehemiah did a good job of ordering that. Tonight's content. So Nehemiah, go to, you're at 1. Let's just go to number 3, then to 2. So the United Nations had a council today. And in that council, all the leaders of the world, and guess who was trying to disagree with is the Israelis? The United States, when they allowed the whole thing to go down. You can't make, Esau got all kind of power. Play, if you can.
United Nations Security Council members condemn Israel over deadly strike on Qatar.
They always condemn them, but they never do anything to them. They just give them more weapons to do more damage and more carnage with. We condemn you. Netanyahu, you're a war criminal. They just use harsh language.
Right. And so normally if they had any type of international accountability, all of those guys should be in jail, and they should go free all of the outdoor concentration camps that the Palestinians live in. But there is none, because Esau, give me Job 9:24 while we wait. Okay. Get Job 9:24, and then we'll check the video out.
Yes, sir.
So if I run the earth, I don't have to listen to nobody else. And that's the thing. A lot of you think that this is a free earth. A lot of you think everybody's equal. You have no idea the man you're dealing with. Read that.
Job chapter 9, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Here's the thing. Pull up the thumbnail real quick. The thumbnail, please. The earth is given to the wicked. Look who's running the earth. It's not Donald Trump. It is the Israeli lobby controlled by Esau and his trillionaire that control governments and policies and dictate, to the point where one of the smallest country in the whole region has got everybody shook and is attacking 6 countries in the last 7 days, and nobody can do anything about it. That's how you know he runs the earth. Read it again.
Yes, sir. Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Come on.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Right. The real leaders, the real judges that come from King David, okay, that come from the line of the 12 tribes. We're in bondage. We have no power right now. We have no power. Okay, let's play the video.
Listen to the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Let's have a listen now.
Internal security force member killed in the attack. I would also like to welcome our distinguished guests today. Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani, Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi, His Excellency Dr. Anwar Gargash, who are all with us. Unilateral bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation working very hard and bravely taking risks
Do you know what it
alongside
means
the
if it
United
says
States to
an interim U.S. ambassador? That means she's either replacing somebody or just standing in for the short term. It is, are they able to see that, or does it keep going in and out? Okay, all right, good. All right, so understand that the U.S. allowed the Israelis to come bomb in Qatar. Trump apparently invited these Hamas leaders to meet for a potential compromise and peace treaty. Once they got them there, they bombed the building, trying to kill all of them at one time. You cannot penetrate U.S. airspace unless you are allowed and authorized. They allowed it. Now they have this woman at the UN saying, it's wrong. Esau is a forked tongue. They have all the power on the planet Earth right now. Just like Pharaoh had all the power back then, this man has power. This man is ultimately arrogant beyond belief. Play.
broker peace does not advance Israel's or America's goals. That said, it is inappropriate for any member to use this to question Israel's commitment to bringing their hostages home. Eliminating Hamas, which has profited off of the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal. Hamas and other terrorists must have no future in Gaza. Only after the terror group's removal can Gaza advance toward a better future, and can Israel be secure within its own borders.
Can you pause it right quick? Because everything she's saying is hypocrisy. Because what does bombing 7 hotels and not giving food to refugees have anything to do with bringing home Israeli hostages? It has absolutely nothing to do with it. All she's basically doing is trying to make an excuse for Israel's war crimes against Gaza. That's all she's doing.
Officer Thomas, did you look at, if they back up, look at the first word in her title when they put her up there. Somebody get the definition of interim. What's her title? Interim. They didn't even send nobody who's legitimately got the job. That tells you. Look up the word interim. What does that mean? Interim U.S. ambassador.
You have an interim professor. It's not the real professor. Someone is standing in for a short time.
Right.
And this is why it's funny how they don't have the normal ambassador to the UN there.
Did you spell that right? Ain't what I saw. What is it? Interim.
No, that's
not-
the noun. Interim is an adjective. Look up the adjective. There we go. It's a temporary,
That's it,
provisional.
that's it.
Right, good point.
Provisional or temporary. That shows you how much they really care. Hey, can you read? Okay, well, go read this that we wrote to them folks so we can write
So
them down.
real quick, can we read that article? I'm going to speed up because we have about 10 more things to get to. It should be a quick read.
The United Nations Security Council has condemned the Israeli attack on the Qatari capital of Doha on Tuesday, and called for de-escalation in a statement agreed by all 15 members, including Israel's chief ally, the United States.
They have no choice but to condemn it, right? Because why? Because they have, pull up U.S. Air Force. What is the largest military base in the Persian Gulf? And it should pull up the Qatar Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force Base. It is larger than anything in Iraq. In Kuwait, it is a giant base. Okay, see what it says.
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
Right
yeah,
there.
that's it.
Now you're dead.
In Qatar. Understand that. This is why they think about it. You have an Air Force base there. You control the whole country, and you allow the Israelis to attack the country you're set up to protect. They had to say some stupid stuff like that woman just said. The other guy is probably like, don't send me. I'm just going to tell her like it is. Well, let's send the intern so she can make it sound like the U.S. actually cares.
She got plausible deniability. She really don't know what's going on. She just got the job. Her go over there and talk.
Exactly. It's a read on.
Yes, sir. Council members issued the statement ahead of the emergency meeting on Thursday, which was convened to
The emergency meeting happened hours ago. Today, all this stuff that's going on with the Sergio Lavrov, with Russia meeting with the Arab bloc, that's today, brothers and sisters. Read on.
To discuss Israel's attack targeting Hamas leader in Qatari capital as it ramped up its offensive in Gaza City, forcing more than 200,000 to flee.
200,000 Palestinian Arabs. Read on.
5 Hamas members were killed, but the Palestinian group said its leader survived the assassination.
So they didn't even hit the target. Read on.
A Qatari security force member was also killed in an unprecedented attack, which was sent tensions in the region skyrocketing.
Now watch this next part. This is why you know Job when he says the earth is given to the hand of. Listen to why they were there. Hamas is where? Hamas is not. You have Hamas is the Palestinian fighters.
Yes.
The Houthis are in Yemen.
Yemen.
Who's the guys in Lebanon?
Hezbollah.
So these are the Palestinian fighters. They lured them to Qatar, which is a U.S. safe ground. Read on.
Hamas leaders were meeting to discuss a new deal proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump.
By who?
By the U.S. President Donald Trump.
Read on.
The attack happened.
So either the Israelis are rogue and don't need permission for the U.S. or the Israelis control the U.S. It has to be one or the other. And this is why, go back to the thumbnail. I'm trying to tell y'all, God is a master. He is in control because God allows it. Get me Jeremiah 50. How can the least of something, Lord, if I'm the most powerful and I have a little brother, I'm more mature than you. Go back in your place. It's either the least is because it's the most powerful. How could you draw them out? Jeremiah 50. We go over this all the time.
Jeremiah 50.
Just look where it says least of the flock, man.
45.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord.
So, again, God, when we read in Romans 9, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. God, this is the counsel of the Lord. So, what prophetically, it was the counsel of the Lord during Egypt's time. Now, going forward, Jeremiah sees what's going to happen decades down the line. This is what Jeremiah is going to happen here. This is the backdrop right here. Read.
Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Babylon.
Now, this is not ancient Babylon. This is talking about Babylon the Great. When you read Psalms 137, the daughter of Babylon. Read.
And his purposes, that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans.
Right, that family, a line of the Babylonians. Read on.
Surely the least of the flock.
So that's not talking about the least of the ancient Babylonians that's going to do that. This is talking about now the United States of America and who is its number one ally. They talk ish about Canada. They got beef with NATO. It's talking about Israel. Read.
Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
It said what?
Surely
the least of the flock. Put the thumbnail back up, please. He's the least of the flock, controlling everybody else. You got to see it for what it is. And them dragons, they are going to come out. And they're starting already. They're starting to unite. Okay, listen, brother. These double tumble, there's no way they're going to come for us all. We turn to Russia. We see that we have a common enemy. They are enemy with the U.S. They will help us. And they're going to turn into Russians eventually. They don't want any type of Caucasian power over them. They had imperialism with the British, then the U.S. They don't want that. But if they can use their enemy, one of their enemies, to help them they're going to use that. Read on.
Yes, sir. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Draw who? Draw what?
Draw them out.
Draw who out? If I'm a flock, the least amount, like think of sheep, right? Oh, let's do this. Let's think of a pack of wolves. So a wolf is still part of the same breed animal, and he's the least. So the least of that flock is the same race as the big guy. He gonna draw out Babylon the Great into the battle. Read.
Surely he shall make their habitation desolate.
By doing that, them coming out, that's when God gonna bring everything together. Armageddon, all of that's gonna happen. And guess what? This place here is gonna be destroyed. Okay? There's many scriptures to go through that. Read on.
Desolate with them.
Okay, stop. Go back to that, and we're gonna move on. Where it says Trump. Let me just read it real quick. Scroll down where it says U.S. The U.S., which traditionally shields its ally Israel at the United Nations, appeared to deliver a strong rebuke to Israel, reflecting President Donald Trump's purported unhappiness with the attack. Acting U.S. Ambassador Dorothy Shea said, unilateral bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation, working very hard and bravely, taking risks alongside the United States to broker peace, does not advance Israel's, and that's the woman we just heard say that. So we can get out of here, go to the video with the Arab, it's number 2. So this is the prime minister or the president of Qatar, okay? Watch what he is about to say.
The Israeli attack that took place today in the state of Qatar, we can only call it as state terrorism that is being exerted by someone like Netanyahu, given his attempts and his policies as he tries to threaten the regional security. This is only a clear message to the whole region, and this message says that there is one player, and there's also a disrespect to all the policies and also a violation to the sovereignty of all the countries and the states. Netanyahu said himself that he will reshape the Middle East. Does he mean that he's also going to reshape the Gulf region? I think that we have reached a decisive moment. There should be a retaliation from the whole region.
Pause. That's when he talked about before the article about the Gulf bloc. Obviously, Yasa posted something where Sergio Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, was meeting with Arab leaders. Go back to 2 Ezra 15. We may see this happen in the weeks to come. We are very, very close to living in the very last days. We are very close, y'all. Okay, now no man know, I don't know, and nobody knows, but this is the sign of the times. Read that.
2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 29.
Listen.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The nations of the dragons of Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Yemen, Oman, Saudi Arabia, parts of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, okay, other Arab places, read on,
shall come out with many chariots.
So if that means that together they're going to come out to what? To go play Parcheesi? They're coming out to a common enemy, and he just said consequences. And now they have Russia that enters the scene. God is controlling Netanyahu to do everything he can do so that Netanyahu does everything he can do for the U.S. and creates everything that God already told the prophets to write thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. It's happening now. Okay? Read on. I'm sorry.
In the face of
No, I'm sorry. Play.
those barbaric actions that only reflects one thing. It reflects the barbarism of this person that is leading the region to, unfortunately, to a point where we cannot address any situation and we cannot repair anything and we cannot work within the frameworks of international laws.
Pause.
He just
And you know why I said it? He says, we cannot even work within the framework of international law because Netanyahu is a wanted man. He should be tried in an international court of law, but he's like, look, we've tried to play by your rules in the framework. We realize that there's nothing we can do. We have no voice. So now they're creating their own voice because God prophesied it through Ezra thousands of years ago. Okay? We're not going to get to everything, man. Let's just move on to, we're going to go to Yemen. So not only, pull up a map of Yemen. Not only did they attack Qatar, which is is protected by the United States. It has the largest base in the region, joint, like Officer Mike said, joint base with Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy, all of that, okay? It also is protected under the veil of the U.S. Military power. And they realize that even Qatar is on the chopping block. This is Yemen. Yemen is, look at the strait. I always forget the name of the damn strait. Good. Pull it up. Bab el Mandeb. That is one of the most important straits because from there, back it out a little bit. We've covered this many, many times. From there, it goes into the Red Sea. The Red Sea goes up. Can you back up a little bit? Okay, yeah. And blow up see the lower right corner? Blow that up. That goes to the Sinai Peninsula. And from the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean, ships can go up around that strait, up to the Suez Canal, out into where? The Mediterranean Sea. Okay? This is why the Yemen is so important to them. I'm talking about to Esau. All right, now, pull up the video where Yemen gets attacked. There's an article and a video. This happened within the last 4 or 5 days, y'all. They attacked 6 countries. Play or
Israeli strikes in Yemen killed 35 people. Houthis says.
Houthis.
At least 35 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes on Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen on Wednesday, according to the Iran.
Pull the map back up of Yemen. Guess where the Houthi-controlled areas are not? The Houthi-controlled areas, the ones that are any concern to Esau, are on the coast. They don't care about interior Yemen. You think they give a damn about interior Yemen? Esau cares about the coast, in particular, near that strait. You got to understand, Esau knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to lock down all of the major entry points to control the flow of commerce, to control the flow of oil, to control the flow of everything. They know what they're doing. All right? Go back to that.
The Israeli military said it struck military targets in the capital Sinai and El Jaf province, including what is called the Houthis' military public relations headquarters. In response,
so I did give you those cities, and so I did give that to you in the map, right? I hope I did. I did. If you look at Yemen, and I gave that hours and hours ago, let's see if we can find those cities and see where they're positioned on the map. Why would they attack these 4 places? And I bet you they're not near the mountains in the interior of Yemen. Okay, we might not be able to find them. That's
I see Sanaa right there where the red block is. That's the capital.
That's the capital. Okay, so that's you got your international airports. You got to take control of the. Okay, I understand that. That's more interior. Where else?
I see Al Jalf right there on the top, right next to it. The little small red dot. Up to the right. Right there. Al Jalf.
Are those rivers or the major? Okay, that would make sense because commerce is going to move. There's a lot of major lines of transportation. Okay, just wanted y'all to see that in the last 6 days, they attacked 4 areas of Yemen, and it's not being talked about. Now, back out. There should be a video with that. And we're going to move on. It's already 10:37. I think it is 5. Yes, sir. It's a quick video. This is in Sana'a. So we covered, they attacked Qatar. Now they're attacking Yemen. Both of them are part of the Arabian nations.
Thick plumes of smoke rose above Sana'a once more after a fresh round of Israeli airstrikes on the Yemeni capital. It was the latest retaliation in the escalating conflict between Israel and Houthi militants.
A few days ago, we eliminated most members of the Houthis' terrorist government. In response, the Houthis fired 2 days ago at the Ramon airport. This did not weaken our resolve. Today, we struck them again from the air, hitting their terrorist facilities.
The nearly 2-year conflict escalated drastically in late August when the Houthi prime minister and several Yemeni officials were killed in an Israeli strike.
So we covered that. Remember that.
The group responded by
their beloved officials was murdered. And this is already in the back of their mind. They already understand that they're the enemy. And yet the Yemenis were one of the first to attack Israel in defense of trying to stand up for the people of Gaza. All right? A lot of these Saudi Arabians, Qatarians, all these men that have extreme amounts of trillions of oil money, they don't want to get it twisted with the U.S. It's these rebel fighters that are just trying to stand up for Arab rights, okay, with the Palestinian Arabs, okay?
firing a series of drones and missiles into Israel, hitting an airport in the south, and sparking the latest retaliation. Israel says Wednesday's attack targeted a Houthi military headquarters, a propaganda department, and a fuel station, but a spokesperson for the group later denied this, claiming the strikes, which killed dozens.
The bombs that they're dropping, and remember, that's the capital. The bombs they're dropping in the city, step up the population of Sana'a. I bet you it's at least 3-4 million. You're dropping big 2,400-pound, 5,000 bombs in inner city areas. The population of SAN, I think it's AA, which should be the capital of Yemen. I think they said that's or a major city. I'm just throwing this at the tech team. I didn't have this in the notes. I'm just trying to figure something out. Population of Sana'a. Thank you. There we go. So they got more people than Chicago, Illinois. That is a huge city. That's about 6 times the number of people in New Orleans, Louisiana. And they're dropping huge bombs in the during the daytime. To show the Israeli, these are a sick people. Okay, almost 3.5 million people.
Cap, it didn't say that they were attacking military installations, tanks, ground troops. They bombing malls and daycares almost. That's essentially what they're doing. They're not even attacking war fighters. They just dropping bombs in populated areas like Cap was going over.
And they're using the term, we were targeting propaganda media companies. Well, how do you know where they're located at? It's amazing. Now, so that shows you we covered what? They attacked Qatar. And then they had the interim U.S. ambassador. Well, we strongly condemn it. You allowed them to attack. You're trying to tell me that the U.S. Air Force couldn't have shot down those Israeli? No, they allowed it. Now, let's get to the next country. I'm not going to be able to get to everything. I want pull up 6 with Scott Ritter because I like what he says.
America can't say nothing about them doing that to Yemen because they're doing the same thing in Venezuela.
Yep.
That's a fact. If anybody's paying attention, most people are not going to say what Officer Thomas just said. They are literally attacked Venezuelan warships and put a $5 million hit on the president of the country who was elected legally. You can't make this up. It's time stamped and everything. So.
How do you think the rest of the Arab world will respond to this? So I'm going to read Trump. So there's conflicting info here. Israeli Channel 12 says Trump gave the green light to attack Hamas leadership in Doha. So there's Israeli media making that claim. I think Axios made that claim as well. I think I read earlier. So we're getting different reports that the US has greenlit this. And Scott, you've made a good argument that you've got a lot of evidence to show.
The Israeli published that the U.S. gave them a green light. The interim UN advisor, that woman that was speaking, she is in unilateral support against what happened. You can't make this up. You could have never launched a successful attack in Qatar without the U.S. knowing and turning a blind eye or authorized. Either one of them. It has to be one of the two. Scott Ritter, former chief UN weapons counselor, big wig in the Iraq war around weapons of mass destruction. They didn't find any of that stuff there. U.S. Marine Corps, I think it was a major, or I don't think it was a lieutenant colonel. I think it was a major. So he had a fairly top security clearance. He was very credible. Now they blackball him. This is what he's about to say.
How else could the jets fly all the way from Israel to Qatar without the US knowing? The next question, though, is what worries me is, I spoke to someone before this interview. What next? How will the Arab world respond? I think that there should be a limit to all this. I think they've been pretty silent on what's happening in Gaza to an extent. But now that one of these countries got struck, how do you think the rest of the world will respond? How do you think Saudi, Kuwait, Oman, they've all condemned the attack, Turkey, Jordan will respond to this attack, Scott?
Not a damn thing. They won't do anything. What can they do? They're going to recall their ambassadors. They're going to launch a demonstration of force. They're going to evict American forces from their soil. They won't do a damn thing. You might hear some screams out of Turkey. But at the end of the day, Turkey's a NATO member who is not going to divorce itself from the United States. The Arab world will make some noises, but they won't do a damn. Why? Because not a single one of them supports the Palestinian cause.
Pause. What he said is very heavy. He said not a single one of them supports the Palestinian cause. What he's talking about when he says he's talking about the ones who have power with the money. The Houthis are poor. Hamas is poor. Hezbollah is poor. They're freedom fighters. The guys in Qatar, the guys in Saudi that have trillions of dollars, they don't want to mess their business relationship up. But what Scott Ritter does not understand is prophecy. He does not and what's happening is this was done, I think, 2 days ago. We got the report that Sergio Lavrov met with Arab leaders today. So the Arabs are going to do something about it. Why? Because Ezra prophesied it was going to happen. But Scott Ritter's like, listen, they've never done that. They're not going to do anything. And this is how Esau feels about the Arabs. They're not going to do nothing. Okay, play on.
Not a single one of them is going to sit there and be seen as aligning with Hamas. I mean, this is why it's a free ride for this president, because the United States and Israel have successfully, pressured the Arab countries into taking a stance that basically says they will be silent in the face of genocide. Come on, Mario, let's remember what's happening here. Genocide, active, ongoing genocide against the Palestinian people, and the Arabs haven't said a damn thing. They're doing nothing. And now you expect the Arab world to jump up and scream because Israel took out or tried to take out Hamas leadership?
Give me the most recent statistics for the number of people killed in Gaza. I believe it's 68,000 killed, not to mention the seriously maimed. Pull that stat. Let's let this play on.
popular Qatar is in the Arab world, it's not like people are going to be bending over backwards saying, oh, yeah, let's rally around Qatar. No, nothing is going to happen. Nothing except, and this is where I'm worried. If I was an American negotiator, I would resign right now. I would never go and represent my country anywhere because now I'm free game. Now it's hunting season on American negotiators. Steve Witkoff's life expectancy in the Middle East is about 0 now because the United States has shown that.
And what y'all don't understand, this was a full bird colonel right here. He understands when the threat assessment, right, he's letting you know, like, look, if you are right now, the stuff that he used to do with weapons and stuff, right, I'm telling you right now, it's finna get dangerous. That's what he's letting you know, like they done crossed over the there are certain levels of danger when it rises to a certain level, they go and tell the people like hey, look, man, look, you might want to raise to DEFCON this, to DEFCON that. That's what he's letting them know. It's finna get thick.
Do me a favor. I know I'm asking a lot. I want you to get the video of Siyasa send in and remind you at home that tonight the prime foreign minister, Sergio Lavrov, met with the Arab League, or with the Gulf Bloc. He met with them. Look, this is tonight, y'all.
Yep.
Everybody else is over here. Looking at this school shootings and what happened with Charlie Kirk, and everyone's focused on that, and it's horrible that could happen on. But the real deal that's going on is being hidden. Play. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Are they meeting in Russia?
Turn to Russia.
Sochi, Russia?
It says via Russia Foreign Ministry.
Okay, so maybe they did fly to Russia. I thought they was in I thought they were actually in the Persian Gulf region. So if this is, we'll have to fact check. Y'all fact check this for me. If that is true, then these, and it may not be true,
it's Russia.
That means these Arabs got in a plane and went to the house of Esau, the other one that's at odds with Babylon. They flew there to meet with why? Because God is forcing all this to happen. Y'all got to see it. The Most High is working right now. He working. He going to set surely the least of the flock will draw them out. Out to what? To battle. It's going to be the Megiddo, the valley of decision, the final decision. Look at them Arabs. Play. They're in Russia. Oh, wow. Pause. Wait. Did y'all catch this? Well, what about the other 7th round? What about the first 7 rounds? The 8th round of Russia Gulf. That means, right, that they have been planning this for a while. Why didn't we hear about? I never heard about this. We tracked this because now they're letting them know. We already been on the back burner, and we're already starting to, and we understand. We're waiting for this one straw to break. You attacked Qatar. We played by your rules. Trump, we did everything you said. You bait our brothers here and try to murder all of them. It's your base, your protection. You allowed, that means you're coming for us all. Let us turn to Russia. The 8th round of the Russia Gulf Corporation. I bet you I've never heard of it. I don't know if anybody on the panel or anybody at home has heard. Have you heard about the first 7 rounds of the Russia Gulf Corporation? Never heard of it.
No, never heard of it.
Y'all got to see, Most High is working his thing. The Lord is working his thing. That's why, we all got to fix our spirits, man. We got to get right. Go back to Scott Ritter, please.
Yeah, this is some heavy news right here.
Yeah, he was turning up. You can tell he was a little
yeah.
He knows how serious it is. You can see you can see it in the Edomite spirit. Like, hey, look, this is getting
right.
serious.
So look, let's just do this. I want to remind me. I want to come back to 7 where Professor Mersheimer, he drops a bomb on Israel, proverbially speaking. Go to I want to jump to, you got the stat, pull the stat. It's like 67,000. Oh gosh.
As of September 11, 2025, the Gaza Health Ministry reports that at least 64,656 Palestinians have been killed.
That's what Esau wants us to see, so I think it's probably more like 100,000. But what I'm interested, go ahead, bring it out, Micah.
Look at where it says wounded. The devil's in the details, as they like to say.
Wounded. An additional 163,503 Palestinians have been injured.
They probably just swapped the numbers,
Right.
Cap. That's
Break
what
that down about being injured, because a combat injury, please.
And that's probably a fraction of what they say. Think about the people who are witnessing the bombs falling. That's an injury. That's trauma. They seeing bombs. They got to go in there and dig out they family members and see all that stuff. That number is probably a fraction of what really is. You got people probably missing limbs, eyesight, fingers, all kind of trauma going on over there.
You hear the commercials in the U.S. about wounded warriors, and you got Marines, Army veterans, some Navy got coming back with, mainly Army and Marine Corps. They're coming back with missing limbs. It affects their whole life. So these Palestinians, and they're reporting that number, which is an amazingly high number, but it's probably lower than it is, that these people have maybe missing an eye. They show Arab boys that have burn marks in their face. It'll be that for the rest. This has changed their whole life, and all of this has been done under the watch of the U.S. and has allowed it all. Joe Biden could have put an end to this. Donald Trump could have put an end to this. And they're allowing it all to happen. And that's because God is authorizing and allowing this to be done through men. Now, we're going to come back to Ritter. We showed you 2 countries. Now go to Syria, number 10 and 11. Remember we said they attacked Qatar. They attacked Yemen. They attacked Syria. And this is not the first time they attacked Syria. They attacked them again this week.
Israel strikes in vicinity of 3 Syrian cities. Syrian media say.
Three Syrian cities the Israelis flew over and attacked. This is a very long article. We're just going to read the first 3-4 paragraphs, excuse me.
Yes. Damascus. Israel struck in the vicinity of Syria's central Homs city, the coastal city of Latakia, and the historical city of Palmyra. Syrian state-affiliated media said on Monday. There was no immediate comment from Israel. Syria's foreign minister condemned the Israeli airstrikes as a blatant infringement of its sovereignty and regional stability.
Right, because they tried to work out a peace deal, and Israel's using the guise of they're housing Hamas terrorists. They're housing terrorists in Syria, so we're going to go bomb them, just like they did in Qatar, just like they did in Yemen. Read on.
Saying in a statement on Tuesday, they were part of an ongoing series of escalations pursued by Israel against Syrian territory.
Looking for terrorists, read.
Syrian media did not elaborate on the size or the impact of the reported strikes. Israel has for years waged a campaign of aerial bombardment that destroyed much of the country's military infrastructure. And this has ramped up since the Israeli war in Gaza. Israel and Syria have recently engaged in U.S.-mediated talks on.
Remember, U.S. mediated the talk with the Houthis. Hey, Donald Trump says, "All come to Qatar. We're all going to meet." And then as soon as they met, the Israeli came and they bombed where all those leaders were. The same thing they're doing in other countries. Okay, read on.
Talks on de-escalating the conflict in southern Syria.
That's exactly what they did in Qatar. Exactly what they did in Qatar. Now, get the other video in Syria. There should be a video. I wanted to read. We don't have time. We're going to look at the video. It's number Oh.
This why these countries is mad with America, because Israel is using America's weaponry.
Yep.
That's the whole reason why. Everybody knows that all these missiles that Israel is using comes from America, because they don't make their own infrastructure. They bombs and they missiles and all of that stuff. It comes straight from America. Same thing in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
America's behind all of this stuff, and the nations are finally starting to wake up and see who Babylon, who Satan is.
So the BBC article is very similar to the other one. So when you get a chance, y'all read these articles about what's going on. Now, we're going to skip Gaza because we know that they attack Gaza every single week. So the 6 countries were Qatar, Yemen, Syria, Palestine, which is Gaza, right? Then the other 2 pull up the next one. Lebanon, yes. I'm sorry, Tunisia first, and then we'll go to Lebanon. So what happened pull up a map of Tunisia, all right? It's not actually, they attacked, this is what they call a flotilla. Okay, that's North Africa. Tunis, which is that Algeria? So you got Algeria, which is right, there's a Mediterranean Sea north of Algeria. Can you pull out real quick? Back up. I want to see the north. It should be Italy or Greece is right above Tunis. Okay.
Italy and Albania.
Okay.
Are right.
So, I'm sorry. Tunisia is actually a small country. I stand corrected. So, Tunisia is right between Algeria and Libya, so you're correct. Akim's right. Italy's right north above them. This is where their region is. Okay? So what's going on is you got all these activists like Greta Thurman, the little girl that was trying to stop war, and a lot of other Edomite activists that are trying to fight through and bring supplies and food to Gaza. So they attacked one of their ships off the coast of Tunisia. Pull up the article number 11 or 12. If you have the video, I'd like to see the video first. So, when it says the Gaza flotilla is like a ship convoy. It's a series of vessels. They are civilian vessels, not military. They're not from one country. They're all trying to go out and bring large amounts of food that they can fit on their civilian ships to Gaza to help them. The Israelis allegedly attacked. This was 2 days ago, okay? So this was on Tuesday. They attacked this civilian flotilla with a drone. Watch this. Here's the video.
This is the moment people aboard the flotilla say it was hit by an Israeli drone strike. The main vessel of the flotilla set on fire. It was anchored outside the Tunisian port of Sidi Bou Said.
They have bombed a boat once again with civilians on it in Tunisian territory. This is an attack against Gaza because they don't want us there.
The blaze was
So
contained.
remember, these
and the
are Edomites that obviously they don't need to report to a job. They can just go travel the world and bring food to other people, which is okay. Esau's got the power to do that. Esau, meaning the Israeli Edomite, don't care. You want to stop our mission, we're going to let you have it. And pull up Greta Thurman. There's a Edomite girl. Y'all probably seen her. She was an activist. She tried to, in her early teens, now she's a young woman, and she was one of the major activists to be on this flotilla. Pull up Greta, yes, Thunberg. Okay. That's her. Now she's older. But she was a little girl. She's only 22 years old. But like 7, 8 years ago, she was like 13, 12, 14 years old. And she was doing things to stop violence, and she was the cause, right? So she is an Edomite, and the other lady, they're all Edomites that are irate with the Israelis and what they're doing to those poor Arabs, right? So now Israel's attacking Edomite activists on civilian boats. This is not being reported. This, and I'm surprised because when white folks kill other white folks, usually it's something that is talked about. Play it again.
It was anchored outside the Tunisian port of Sidi Bou Said.
They have bombed a boat once again with civilians on it in Tunisian territory. This is an attack against Gaza because they don't want us there.
The blaze was contained and the ship undamaged. Shortly after the incident, the Tunisian authorities issued a statement that contradicted the activists' claim. According to initial investigations, the cause of the fire was a fire that broke out in one of the ship's life jackets, caused by a lighter or cigarette butt.
No, they don't want no smoke with Israel. That's the problem. They don't want a problem with the IDF. Pull up the map of Tunisia. So they met from some boats from Portugal, some boats from other parts of the Mediterranean Sea to meet there, to launch from, I forget the port name. I forget what he said. It's around on that. That's the small country that borders Libya and Algeria. They were going to sail from there, which they're going to sail due east right over it. Because if you take east and do a straight line, it's going to hit right into Israel, which is Gaza is borders Egypt right there on the Mediterranean, the eastern coast. Pull up a map of the Mediterranean. A lot of y'all got to see this because Israel has bombed 6 different countries, and although it was in the water, it's right off the coast of Tunisia. So back up a little bit. Oh gosh. Well, anyways, okay, that'll work. That'll work right there. Well, so anyways, to the left of Egypt is going to be Libya, and then Algeria and Tunisia. That's why they staged there to go right over to Gaza. Okay, go back out to the article for Tunisia.
Tunisia says Gaza aid flotilla targeted by premeditated attack.
Right. I want them to see what this is from the 10th. A flotilla is not one boat.
Tunisia's Interior Ministry on Wednesday said a premeditated aggression attack a day earlier hit Gaza aid flotilla docked in a North African country. Organizers of a Gaza-bound flotilla carrying aid and pro-Palestinian activists said late Tuesday that another of their boats... Another of their boats.
There's a whole civilian fleet bringing aid to Gaza. And these are white folks. Read.
Have been struck in a suspected drone attack of Tunisia's coast, the second in 24 hours. The Interior Ministry said that it was launching...
I'm sorry, scroll down. I want the part where it talks about all the activists in the countries they come from. Scroll down. Here in a sec. Scroll down. Go back up. It says the flotilla. Okay, I'm going to read it. It says the flotilla arrived in Tunisia at the weekend and was anchored up the coast of Sidi Bou Said, north of Tunis. So when we saw Tunis was the large city in highlighted font, it was north of that, right? It was launched right directly east to Gaza. When it reported the first incident, some members of flotilla, scroll down. I want it, okay. Oh, gosh. See if y'all can find, it starts to give about where these people are from. See, that's the Edomite Greta that young woman right there. Look, scroll up. It says, among its high-profile participants is an environmental activist, Greta Thunberg. She is all over the news for the last 7, 8, 9 years. And she's an Edomite, and the world loves this girl, right? So they don't even care about her. Okay, scroll down. I want to see where it says, all right, we're going to move on after this. It's not on this one. It doesn't give you any more. Okay. Well, All right, let's get out of there. And then the last one was Lebanon. So remember, they attacked Qatar, they attacked Yemen, they attacked, of course, Palestine, which is Gaza. They attacked Syria, they attacked Tunisia, which is an North African country, and now they attacked Lebanon, which is directly north of Israel. Right there, the blue small Beirut is the capital. This is all within the last 5 to 7 days. This is a very long article, but I don't want to read. But it says, real quick, I'll read it. Israeli operations in Lebanon against Hezbollah, September 1st through the 7th. So this is within the 7th. It was a couple of days ago. But scroll down. Look at how many times. Look at the map. Those are all places where they launched an attack. Scroll down. I'm speeding up. There's Damascus. There's Beirut. Okay, scroll down. Right there, pause. So it gives you, look at it, September 1st. They attacked, no casualty was reported. September 2nd, they attacked again. September 3rd, they attacked. 2 Hezbollah operatives were killed. They've been attacking every day since the 7th, and they're only reporting what they are telling us. Scroll down. Yes. Scroll down. And these are the famous guys that's allegedly killed that were the Houthis, not the Houthis, the Hezbollah. Scroll down. I'm just showing you that these Israelis have been getting busy the whole month of September, from the 1st to the 7th, attacking the hell out of Lebanon in the name of attacking Hezbollah rebels and terrorists. Look at the aftermath. This is in South Lebanon. Look at this. You got the video? Earlier, he said that you mentioned about it's not just getting physically hurt. You know, you imagine you're looking for your mother, your aunt, or your grandpops, and you have been calling for 3 hours. You hear his voice. You finally get to them. You're trying to take the rubble off, and you realize that his leg is severed. And then as soon as you lift the pile off, he's going to die. You're never going to forget that the rest of your life. And 3 hours earlier, you were playing stickball in the yard with your family. These Israelis, God is creating such an animosity and a disdain for these Israelis. Okay.
Hey, Cap, that's just the ones that they found.
Right.
And it's still rubble and stuff. It's bodies that they'll probably never find.
You got to understand that the Mossad is using this small flock, these Israeli, to do major damage, and this is just in the last week, 7 days. So we did the Lebanon, right? Okay, now I want to go back. So we got a little bit of time. Go back to Scott Ritter, and then I want to. We did Tanzania, right? Okay.
And while we getting that video, since we're going back to Scott Ritter, he actually said something. He said that these other nations aren't going to do anything. The reason they're not going to do anything is because they don't remember their nature yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the scripture said they are remembering their nature. These things are going to keep happening. Israel is going to keep doing these things, and they're going to remember their nature. And we know from earlier in the scriptures in Genesis, their nature is they're a wild man.
Right, and here's the thing. And you got guys that are trillionaires that are in Saudi Arabia, and they got all kind of money. Their grammar is very particular. They can talk in Arabic, and they can also talk in English very, very eloquently. It doesn't change the fact that even the Saudi Arabian, like Mikhail said, even they are wild at heart. Even they the ones that are proper and elite with oil money, they got the same nature. And the Lord going to use these events to bring all of that out of them. Okay? Get Scott Ritter. Go back to Ritter.
Steve Witkoff's life expectancy in the Middle East is about 0 now, because the United States has shown that they respect nothing, that we are nothing. All we understand is the law of the gun. And we've just legitimized terrorism. Okay? Whatever moral ground we wanted to take about October 7th, it's gone, finished. We never again can speak up about international law and the niceties of law. We just legitimized everything Hamas did because we sunk to their level, if that's the interpretation you want. I don't take that interpretation, but if we're going to condemn Hamas for violations of international law, what did we just do? A massive violation of international law. So the Arab world will do nothing because they can do nothing. They're incapable of doing nothing. We're seeing the depth of the depravity of the Arab leadership. They stand for nothing, literally nothing. Tell me one thing they stand for.
Israel, and they're doing a good job at it. Like this is for me.
That's the first one. Go to Professor Mearsheimer. Mearsheimer timestamps 2 of them. He is going to tell you about the true agenda of the Israelis and how that they are what they call a rogue or a pariah state. Professor, okay. You got to imagine if you have a Palestinian Arab, the level of anger that the Arabs in the United Arab Emirates, Saudis, the Arabs in Iraq, the Arabs in Yemen and Oman, and the Arabs all across the U.S. who are sleeping like caterpillars. You don't think that they are in... I went into a store one time, and I was a parts store, and I was talking to and this was a Edomite control, but a Palestinian worked in there. I guess he was Americanized. And I went and I just started talking about just current events. And I said something about Israeli, and this dude stopped me in my track. He says, they are the devil. They are evil. He was so livid because all his experiences and his memories of them are being oppressed by them. They're being 100% oppressed. They got them in open concentration camps. Okay? Hey, and the Lord's behind all that. Okay, the Lord's behind all of that. Play that.
We've been talking, of course, almost nonstop in the past 2 days about the Israeli attack on Doha, on the negotiators in Doha, on the Hamas negotiators in Doha. What's your big picture take on this, Professor?
Well, in a certain sense, it's not surprising because it fits in very neatly with the Israeli strategy. Here in the United States and in the West more generally, we pretend that Israel is serious about negotiating some sort of deal to put an end to the war in Gaza. But that's not what's going on here. What the Israelis are bent on doing is making sure there is no ceasefire. And there's certainly no peace agreement involving Gaza because they want to ethnically cleanse Gaza. And this is all designed to ethnically
Pause
cleanse.
real quick. This is a Caucasian man that is an esteemed professor. What he doesn't have any incentive to paint the Israelis, and he's telling facts, and he's saying it as educated as he can. But the way he just said, scroll back real quick. Watch his title.
One ethnic, and there's certain
watch his title. Pause right there. It says, yes, R. Wendell Harrison, Distinguished Service Professor of Political Science at University of Chicago. Political science is a degree where they deal with politics. And politics, sometimes it goes into religion. So he studies political science, and he studies the Israelis from an academic perspective. So this guy, Judge has him on, and he's asking him what his take is on the Israelis. So play on. Listen to what he's saying.
About negotiating some sort of deal to put an end to the war in Gaza. But that's not what's going on here. What the Israelis are bent on doing is making sure there is no ceasefire, and there's certainly no peace agreement involving Gaza, because they want to ethnically cleanse Gaza. And this is all designed to ethnically cleanse Gaza. It's part of a bigger picture that involves raising Gaza City, which they're now starting to do, making it unlivable, driving all of the Palestinians in the northern part of Gaza down to the south, where most of them are now, putting them in a giant concentration camp in preparation for either murdering them or driving them into Egypt, or both.
Is there any question about whether or not the United States gave the green light?
It's hard to believe that the United States didn't give him the green light, in the sense that the United States knew that this was coming and said it's okay to do it. There's no way, in my opinion, that they could have flown into Qatar, given that we have a huge naval base, a huge air base there, and all sorts of surveillance capabilities. They would have had to tell us they were coming. And if they didn't tell us, we surely saw them coming. And we could have told them to turn back if we wanted to. But let's face it, the Trump administration is in cahoots with the Israelis. This is a tag team. They're executing a genocide in Gaza. The Trump administration is fully complicit in that genocide. With regard to the 12-day war against Iran, again, the tag team was in action, the United States and Israel. And you see it again here. So I'm sure that they gave them the green light.
Go to number 2. And this should be on all mainstream media. They have side media like Judge and like Al Jazeera and like Routers, where you have to search for this. And they're never going to put this on mainstream media. They're never going to do this.
Israel does. You really want to sit back and just sort of think about the relationship between the United States and
Pause.
Israel.
This is real. This guy is very boring, very dry. When I have to listen to this over and over again, searching for content. Listen to what he says historically about the relationship between Israel and the U.S. This is prophecy. This is prophetic. Watch what he says. I had to listen to it twice.
Sit back and just sort of think about the relationship between the United States and Israel, and just how truly remarkable it is. There's nothing in recorded history that even comes close to this relationship. Here we have a tiny little country that is able to wrap the United States of America around its finger. If you look at how President Trump deals with almost every other...
Bring it out.
Can we go back to that Jeremiah 50? Jeremiah 50 and 45. He just said it. This is prophecy unfolding.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
He said Israel has the United States wrapped around their finger, and there's no recorded history like this relationship, but it is recorded in the Bible. Read it again, just that part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Israel is the least of the flock of Esau, and he's drawing out his big brother, the United States. Bible prophecy unfolding right before our eyes.
100%. Play on. We didn't take a break tonight. I just wanted to get y'all got to see Israel attacked 6 countries in the last 7 days. 6 countries. The power that Israel has is given of God. Play.
It even comes close to this relationship. Here we have a tiny little country that is able to wrap the United States of America around its finger. If you look at how President Trump deals with almost every other country on the planet, he slaps them around at least once a week.
Right.
Every
Canada,
other country.
Canada is a more powerful country than Israel. Slaps Mexico, slaps Germany, France, slaps them around. All the EU countries. You're not paying your bills. I'm gonna turn up. No protection for you, NATO. France is way more powerful than Israel. Germany, way more powerful than Israel. It is God. God is controlling everything. That's why in Isaiah he says, I am in the heavens, you are on the earth. My thoughts are not your thoughts. This is why if you are in the world, you get caught in politics, you get caught in trying to figure out why do they allow this? We know why Israel's doing what it's doing. We know exactly why. We're sitting back and waiting. We got to be patient saints. Shout out to Patient Saints Radio. That's what we have to be as patient saints. We got to wait. We got to watch. We got to watch and look at prophecy unfold. The Arab Council, the Gulf bloc, met with Russia today. Today. Why? Why would the U.S. be that stupid to allow they have protection over Qatar and allow the Israelis to bomb them when the U.S. is supposed to? Only God could allow and orchestrate that. Now he's forcing, like Mikhail pointed out, he's forcing the Israelis to remember, we are brothers. We have been divided by oil and land, but this man here, not to be. They're going to come together. They're going to come together. Play on.
But here's this country, Israel, that can do anything it wants, and we support it. And we give it huge amounts of military assistance, huge amounts of economic assistance, huge amounts of diplomatic cover. This is truly remarkable. And it's certainly not in our interest. I mean, no great power would allow this to happen if it could prevent it.
Pause. He said, if they could prevent, because they can't. Because God is the master of puppets. Pull up the thumbnail. I like this thumbnail. God is the master of puppets. And Netanyahu, whether he knows, he's on strings. He's controlling the puppets below, but God got him on strings. That's why they call it the marionette. That's a name for a puppet on strings. He is being controlled by the Most High, just like Pharaoh. Just like Pharaoh, the black king of the time when the Israelites were in captivity back then. Okay? Oh, yes. Okay. So, Qatar, this is from Australian News. I like these people. Pull up, there's a definition I gave you of a Qatari state. Okay? This is what the Prime Minister of Qatar, I had to look it up, labeled Israel.
Y'all don't have that definition of pariah state?
It should. If not, we could read this. Maybe I didn't give it to you. Somebody look up the definition of a pariah state. Go to the shorter article, Akim. I think this is the longer one. Yeah, this is real long. I wish I had a couple more hours to go because there's so much that has happened in the last 7 days. It's crazy. There we go. Let's do that.
A pariah state is a nation considered an outcast by the international community due to its policies, actions, or behavior.
So Israel is the perfect example of a pariah state. The United Nations Security Council, even the U.S. had to say something. All condemned what happened in Qatar. Okay? They are a pariah, and AKA a rogue state. Read on.
Which are seen as unacceptable.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's unacceptable. If you do not have accountability for unacceptable actions, nothing else matters. That's why the Arabs said, we tried to play by your framework. We realized we can't do anything. If you come for Qatar, you'll come for anybody. Hence, let's turn to the Russians. And if an enemy of my enemy is my friend, that's what they say. And so you're going to find out God going to use the Russians. God going to use them all. God going to use BRICS. Remember, Russia is aligned with China, which is aligned with India, which is aligned with South Africa, which is aligned with the Arab Emirates and all the other partner countries. We're going to get ready to end it soon. Finish the definition, please.
Yes, sir. It is often subject to international isolation and sanctions, though there is no...
With the exception of one non-isolatory country, and that's the United States of America, which is the greatest of the flock. Everybody, you got Irish Edomites are blasting the hell out of... Type in real quick, Irish condemns... It's going to give you a bunch of... Irish parliament or whatever condemns Israeli genocide. You got to talk about, there's some Edomites in Ireland that is screaming in their parliament against Israel. You got other Edomite countries. You got people from the U.S. that is on a flotilla, activists that's going to try to give food to Gaza. Yes, this is fine. Let's just read this.
Ireland has issued numerous strong condemnations of Israel's actions, particularly those related to its military campaign in Gaza and the expansion of settlements. These condemnations are part of a long-standing position of solidarity with the Palestinian cause, informed by Ireland's own history. European Union trade agreement.
Right, remember the movie Braveheart? There was beefing, the Irish were beefing, and the Scottish were beefing against the English. So they were oppressed by their own people. That's why when the brother says, he says, you honkies, you was oppressed in your own land, and after you hang me, you can kiss my ass. He was talking about that history. He was talking about you oppress your own people. That's what he was talking about. Those of you know what I'm talking about, there's a movie called Mendigo, where the scene when they're hanging him, and he gets a chance to speak, and he cuts him up. See if you can get that. Because he's talking about the history of the white man and how they oppressed their own people. So Ireland is now saying, we remember, in my terrible Irish accent, what the British did to us, and you doing that to the Palestinians. Mendigo, type in
I'm sending
you
it
could always
right
type in
now.
you can kiss my ass scene.
That's it. I got it right here. I'm sending it right.
This is our people in slavery. They understood Esau he will oppress his own people. I love this part of it. This is one of my favorite parts.
I just sent it.
Right. This dude right here, he about to die, and he about to say his last piece.
Mayhaps I could have got away on beat for you catching me. You remember that. You remember that all, eh? You killed me. You remember that. You killed me. Niggas like you just prove what the
Yes, okay.
would say.
So he's
We
about
just
to
beats,
die. This
willing to do
sellout turned him
anything,
in.
kill each other.
And now
No mind,
he's about to
no
get hung.
feeling.
And he's going to bring us some history about Esau.
Least why they ain't gonna die like you gonna die.
Watch this.
Like a slave. I ain't giving no lifetime of misery and
Right.
what to this Peckerwood.
Right.
I'd rather die than be a slave.
He said, I'd rather die than be a slave.
You Peckerwood. That's
Yep.
right. You Peckerwoods was oppressed in your own land.
That's what he's talking about. He says, you oppress your own people. You was oppressed in your own land. That's what he said. It goes back to, remember the Protestant church protest against the Catholic church? Remember you had the serf class? And Esau would do all of that, and that's why the movie Braveheart, which is supposed to talk about how the Irish was oppressed by the British and that what they used to do. That's the history that Ireland is in their own right is trying to stand up against the tyrannical state of Israel. The point of me saying that is that many of the nations that are Caucasians are against Israel. But as long as the U.S. is not, then they have carte blanche to do whatever they want, to say and do whatever they want. Tens of billions of dollars go to the economy, go to the military budget. Type in, do me a favor, I know I'm throwing it to you. Type in how much money has the U.S. government given to Israel? Type something like that. It's going to show you billions and billions of dollars.
And we gotta remember too, Netanyahu been trying to bomb Iraq for years. No other president did it besides Trump, showing you how deep his pockets is in Israel.
Right. Look, I want you to understand something. $1 billion is $1,000 million. So $999 million and add another million, that's $1,000 million. That's $1,000 million times 318. That is, you don't understand. With $318 billion, do me a favor, type this in. How much would it take to end homelessness in the U.S.? I think it's like $58 million or something like that. This is why a lot of these Edomites is mad as hell. You could end homelessness, end hunger in the U.S., and a lot of problems.
20 to 30 billion.
Okay, so a fraction of it could end hunger. Look, housing services. So with a fraction, you could end housing and services. So a lot of Esau is starting to wake up, and they're like, wait a minute. All the money we're sending to them, which has got our sons and daughters dying in wars, but yet our roads are crappy. Our infrastructure is horrible. If anybody's ever been to Los Angeles, California, there's a place called Skid Row. Go there. I went. I couldn't believe it. Block after block after block after block. It doesn't look like the United States. It looks horrible. Go to any inner city. Go to Baltimore. Go to doggone Philadelphia. Look at the horrible, destitute. With the money that we send to Israel, you could fix almost all of the housing, homelessness, the food problems, health care. You could fix a lot of that.
Cap, could y'all look up the American debt ceiling? See what their debt ceiling is.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to get that real quick. Let's see what their debt ceiling is, because for some reason, I don't know who they owe this to, but they got
trillions. I think it's 37 trillion.
The American debt ceiling. Oh, they took the number down. Dang, they watching the show, Cap. They took it down. They said, he gonna bring it down.
If you type in what is the ongoing U.S. debt, last time I think we did it on the show was $37 trillion of U.S. national debt. What is it? 36.1 trillion. That's why they wanted to kill Elon Musk. That's why they was setting Tesla cars on fire, because he was scaling back, ridiculous overspending, not regulating, clerical errors, all that, and he realized, hey, I better get out now. So to your point, Officer Micah, where is all that debt? Where is that going to?
He could easily pay it off if they stop sending money over there, but we know they ain't gonna do that.
And then they got a black budget of 11 trillion where nobody knows what they're doing with that money. That money they don't know what happened.
It just disappears.
Yeah, y'all gotta understand that Esau is livid, and a lot of these Edomites are starting to question the relationship between Israel and all this is going down at the same time. But I think, and we're getting ready to close out, I want y'all to understand that. Go back to the video that Officer Yasa sent in. I want us to watch that video again, and do me a favor, type in this last thing. Type in Arab leaders meet with Russia, because I want to confirm this with something else. There's got to be other things that are going to report this, because this is the Indian news, and a lot of times they don't really care what Esau think. They'll put out stuff that because they got 1.3 billion people, they got a huge economy, and they're aligned with Russia. North Korea don't give a crap. Russia don't give a crap. China don't give a crap. Oh, read that. Please.
Yes, the foreign minister of Kuwait, Abdullah al-Yaha, co-chaired the 8th joint ministerial meeting of the Russia-GCC Strategic Dialogue in Sochi with Russia's foreign minister.
So it was in Russia. It was in Russia, and it happened today. Read on.
Sergei Lavrov on September 11, 2025. This meeting is a part of an ongoing efforts by Arab nations to engage with Russia, including a broader Russia-Arab/Arab summit.
I never heard of a Russian-Arab summit scheduled for October 15th. So in about a month and 4 days, there's going to be another, maybe the 9th turnaround. So it's not just economic ties. They want more than that. And guess what? I think somebody said it earlier, what a perfect opportunity to bring all of those Arab nations into BRICS. Now's the time. They're searching for answers. All right, y'all, listen, it's getting late. We're not going to do a law back attack tonight. Did we get the Pariah Nation? We did that, right?
Yes, sir.
I think we covered everything. We got Pariah State, Syria. We covered all the... So go back to the first article we did. I want to review this, and then we're going to close out a couple minutes early. The one that says Israel attacked 6 nations. We're going to read that article, and we're going to close out. No, I'm sorry. That's the one. Yep.
Israel has attacked 6 countries in the past 72 hours. In just 3 days, Israel has carried out strikes in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Qatar, and Yemen.
The only one that we did not cover is Palestine because they attack Palestine every day. So we know that that's been done. Scroll down. There's the map. Hold up. There's the map of all the countries. There's Lebanon, obviously Gaza, which is Palestine, which is part of Israel, Qatar, Yemen, Tunisia. All of that has been done in the last 7 days. Play on. Read on.
On Tuesday, Israel launched a targeted airstrike on a Hamas leadership compound in Qatar's capital, Doha, during a meeting to discuss a U.S. proposed ceasefire for Gaza.
Remember, Donald Trump invited them, and they set them up. Now, Donald Trump is saying, I didn't even know about it. He's trying to say, and then this way he said his interim representative to stand up for Israel, but then to agree that it's wrong, which makes no damn sense. Scroll down. I think that was it. Okay. So just be very mindful that while everybody here in the U.S. is focused on the many mass school shootings, the death of, like Michael brought out, of Charlie Kirk that was done. I mean, we saw, you could go back and watch it on YouTube. And we scriptures tell us that we are, thou shalt not kill. And so we don't, and our elders will have a position on that. And our position is that we're going to keep the commandments, and murder of any form is, nobody should have to die. That man had a family and children. So, but at the same time, the Israelis are killing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Arab fathers and Arab uncles and grandfathers and children. And guess what? God is allowing them to do all these things because he's going to raise up the nations and they're going to overthrow them. So with that, we're going to hit the PayPal. Okay, we're going to end up actually a little early tonight. All praises. No law back attack tonight. I'm going to say this real quick. Brothers in the red and the yellow, you know athlete mode is out. You know what to do. Talk to your health officer. There's no reason why the next men's conference 2026, everybody should be in the green. We're not going to be known as the fat camp. We are the fit camp.
That's right.
That's who we are. We are in shape. We care about our meat and diet. We care about our having a strong body. And God gives us the scriptures on how to obtain that. So all praise to the Most High, brothers, sisters. Thank you. Shout out to many of the sisters and brothers. Y'all send stuff. We don't use it. A lot of times I don't use it. But I really appreciate all of you sending stuff in. And it's very nice that you think of us. Anything else we covered? We good?
Yes, sir.
We're ending 10 minutes early, Ak. We started at At 9:50, we're going to end early. So with that, precept upon precept, donate. Text GIVE to 646-982-3858. PayPal, hook us up so we can travel the world. It's your donations, you faithful men and women, okay, that help the prophets to go 12 tribes throughout the world. And with that, we're your hosts. I'm Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Thomas.
Officer Mikael.
It's late. We're tired. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Can't never forget. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. I never forget. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept Upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never killer. Breaking dreams and it's bitter.